What is going on, full-time family? I should be in bed for work right now, but we just got done watching the Contender series about an hour ago, and we've been over here, of course, having a great discussion on the Full-Time MMA Discord, so make sure you click the link in the description. Come join the discussion. Someone pointed out to me that Dana White tripled down in a new interview tonight. No Laura Sanko. I mean, these people are gonna keep moving the goalpost, man. It doesn't. It's not even just Cyborg Nation. I understand Cyborg Nation being biased. You know what I'm saying? If Cyborg's your favorite fighter of all time, you got her pictures on your wall, you got autographed posters. You know what I'm saying? Then I understand why she can do no wrong in your eyes. Because you're biased. You're blinded by your bias. 100% I give those people a pass. It's everybody else I have a problem with. All of the beta males and social justice warriors and all of these emotional people that are literally ignoring the facts and the logic and what just makes sense. It's got nothing to do with Dana White. It's got nothing to do with Cris Cyborg. It's just got to do with common sense at this point. I mean, Cris Cyborg her team has edited videos. She's had to issue an apology. She's not signing the rematch, even though no matter how long the contract is, it doesn't matter if it's 1 fight, 6 fights, or 10 fights. If Cris Cyborg beats Amanda Nunes, she gets all the leverage in the world. Also, it is a win-win for the UFC. If Cyborg wins the rematch, the UFC gets the trilogy. If Cyborg loses the rematch, they have the GOAT, unanimous, undisputed, no questions asked Amanda Nunes. So the Cyborg vs. Nunes rematch makes all the sense in the world for the UFC. And Dana White has had issues with fighters in the past. Tito Ortiz, Mark Hunt, many guys, and they still get fights done. It's got nothing to do with a personal grudge. Mark Hunt was in a lawsuit with the UFC, and they still got fights done. There are people that are working on being in unions. They still get fights in the UFC. So now you're talking about a win-win for the UFC. No matter who wins between Cyborg and Nunes in the rematch, the UFC wins. Why would they not want that fight? On top of the edited videos, on top of the apology, on top of it not making sense, they're posting videos from 5 years ago. Dana White said I looked like a man 5 years ago. Joe Rogan and a comedian said I had a dick 4 years ago. Everything they are doing points to them being in the wrong. And there are so many fucking emotional victims out there, they are just ignoring it. Look at this video. Every video Dana White does gets a whole lot of thumbs down from these wave of betas. And it's not all Cyborg Nation. Cyborg Nation is not that strong. Cyborg Nation grew. It's like if you can become a fucking victim, your fandom will grow regardless of whether you're right or wrong. Just get a good bad guy, and no matter what he says or does, people will ignore him. Dana White's. It doesn't matter what you think about Dana White. He's been spitting nothing but hot facts. And everyone's like, forget that, Dana's mean. What? But he's right. Like, so with that being said, I want to watch this video with you guys because Dana White is tripling down. He got to the point where he raised his voice in this video. I've talked enough, man. I mean, let's just hear what Dana White has to say. And I'm only going to cut in very rarely because it's a 9-minute video. Before Dana White answers, there's no Laura Sanko here, you guys. What that means is everybody attacked Laura Sanko. She even got death threats because all she did was interview Dana White. That's her job. She's professional. She stands up for other women's fighters. I mean, I remember a time in Invicta, it wasn't even the big stage, and there was a girl that got robbed in a decision, and her opponent accused her of having bad hygiene. And Senko came out and stood up for her and said, hey, man, that's not right. I was in between the girls. I was the announcer of the fight. I didn't smell anything, man. That's not right, and you know it. She came out and stood up for a fighter. She's does a very great job when she's working the Contender Series. She works Invicta, and she does interviews, in-depth interviews. So she was doing her job and doing the interview. She's getting fucking death threats and harassed for asking questions in this situation. That is the mob-like mentality of these fucking betas and social justice warriors, because they are so bloodthirsty for a fucking victim, for a villain, that they will attack people in their way. Lorosenko is an innocent bystander, and people are so angry because they think Dana White is villainizing Cyborg that they don't care about Lorosenko. That is ironic. You think somebody's a victim, so in essence you victimize everyone that is in the path of you getting blood. Everyone wants Dana White to be wrong so bad. They don't care about Lorosenko, but in the whole time, Cyborg, it's a big PR move. They're editing videos and posting shit from 5 years ago to make everyone feel like they're a victim. That's fucked up. Everybody owes Lorosenko an apology for this interview here, because there are reporters from MMA Junkie, all sorts of different MMA media outlets, unbiased, none of them that are just employed by Dana White, like everyone accused Lorosenko of, and here Dana White is saying everything he said in that interview, plus more, vetting everybody's questions. So Lorosenko got attacked for nothing. Just like all of this has been for nothing. A big stunt.
You know,
Release her. Was that video that she posted related to your decision?
just a lot of things, you know. Dealing with her has been a nightmare the entire time she's been here. You know, and I said the other day in the interview with Laura, there was a lot of controversy bringing her in the first place at that time. And when I did the interview with Laura, we really didn't mention the whole her lying on the video about what I said. Her production team lying about what I said on the video. It's just been it's been a bad experience dealing with Cyborg from day one. You know, we brought her in after she tested positive for steroids and got done with that. We made her a clean athlete with the best drug testing policy in all of sports the entire time she was here, which when she talks about her legacy and her brand, right? Her legacy and her brand, nothing's better than knowing that she's a clean athlete after testing positive for steroids and all the negativity that surrounded her.
What a fucking great point that we haven't even pointed out. I haven't even thought of it. Definitely not going to be pointed out by the beta wave. But what a great point. We're talking about damaging Cyborg's brand. The UFC is the best thing that happened to Cyborg's brand. Before the UFC, everybody thought she was on steroids. Partly her fault, she failed a test. UFC allowed her to have USADA testing, which cleaned up her image. That cleaned up her brand. By being able to say she's a clean athlete, being tested at the highest of levels in MMA. When she goes to Cyborg, if Cyborg gets muscular, you better believe everyone's going to say Cyborg's back on steroids because they don't have USADA. So being in the UFC cleans up your brand if you pass your drug test.
About being a dirty athlete, right? We bring her in here, we do all this stuff, and she was just never happy. Never happy, complaining about everything. She was a nightmare to deal with, and at the end of the day, She knows, I know, Amanda Nunes knows. I tried to make that Nunes fight. She doesn't want it. She doesn't want it, and she gets mad when I say I don't blame her. I don't blame her, okay? Because if that was Amanda Nunes last Saturday, I think everybody can agree what would have happened in that fight, right? So.
And be honest, there's even people that are on Cyborg's side in this whole situation that have admitted that if that was Amanda Nunes against Cris Cyborg last weekend when she fought Felicia Spencer, Nunes would have smoked her. Just from what we've seen with our own eyes. Cris Cyborg's last 2 fights. Knocked out, fought to a decision with the girl that was 7-0 jiu-jitsu fighter, who was still landing strikes. Amanda Nunes' last 2 fights. Knocked out Cyborg, head kick, knocked out Holly Holm. I mean, with our own eyes, you can kind of see what makes sense here. Who would want to fight the other one?
She's unhappy, we're unhappy. She lies and does that thing. See you later. Have a nice life.
She did post an apology though. Like, was that enough to make peace between you two?
Yeah. I don't think there's any peace between me and Cyborg. You know what I mean? I think everybody can, whether you like me or you don't like me, whatever your opinion of me is, doesn't matter. What she did was dirty. Dirty what she did with the video and all this other stuff. And then meanwhile, she's running around saying she better get an apology from me. Yeah, I got an apology from her. Because what she did is one of the dirtiest things. You think it had to kill her to apologize to me. Kill her to do it. But what she did is one of the dirtiest things that you can do to somebody. That's why she apologized.
You even mentioned that you would be willing to give her 1 fight contract to make that rematch with Amanda Nunes.
She doesn't want to fight Amanda Nunes. You guys and the fans need to get it into your head that she did everything she could, including doctoring a video, lying about what I said, to avoid fighting Amanda Nunes. The fans need to just, and the media, need to just get it through your heads that all that shit that was going on, oh, he's bullying me. Bullying you? You've been here for 5 years. What are you talking about? You're talking about stuff that happened 5 years ago, right? That was 5 years ago. It was all a smokescreen to not fight Amanda Nunes. She doesn't want that fight. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. You know? I don't think there's anybody here. I've had problems over the last 20 years with plenty of fighters. You know what I mean? From Tito Ortiz to Mark Hunt to God knows who else. I can't even think off the top of my head. We always made fights, right? She doesn't want to fight Amanda Nunes.
Lastly, for me, is just what can we expect from the featherweight division? You know, is Amanda going to defend the featherweight belt?
Amanda's going to defend both titles just like she always did. Cyborg leaving doesn't matter. We know who the best fighter in the world is at 135 and 145. It's Amanda Nunes. You know, she had the opportunity for her legacy, Cyborg's legacy, to get that fight again. She doesn't want it, right? So we will continue to bring in the best fighters in the world and put them up against Amanda Nunes at 135 and 145 pounds, and she will continue to build her legacy.
Looking back to the last 5 years, if you could, would you do something different in relation to Cyborg?
No. I wouldn't do anything different. The one thing that I'm glad I did is I pushed her to make sure that she fought Amanda Nunes, because she didn't want that fight the first time, let alone the second time. And I said that in that interview. She wanted Cindy Danois or Pam Sorensen. Those are the fights she wanted, and she was turning down Amanda Nunes. And I said, that's not going to happen. So we kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and finally we got her to take the Amanda Nunes fight. So I'm happy that I did that. Other than that, no, I wouldn't change one thing in the last 5 years with Cyborg.
And then she was offered the rematch and didn't want it?
Oh, I'm sorry, did you just get here?
No, I know you keep telling us that, but I'm saying, like, specifically, you offered it, right? Because like in the video, we saw you tell her, hey, we want to make this fight. Amanda tweeted, hey, I want this fight. So it supported what you were saying all along, right?
Yes.
What you're reiterating now. But I just want to make it, clear that that's exactly what happened.
I just said to her, you reporters and fans need to get it through your heads that I tried to make this fight. She does not want this fight. She doesn't want this fight. Doesn't want it.
I believe you, sir.
You know what the beta wave is saying even still? Well, then why did she wear a Cyborg versus Nunes 2 shirt if she didn't want it? It's called damage control. It's called protecting your brand. It's called business. Why'd Dana White make her take the shirt off? Because he knew she didn't want the fight. Why are we going to let you walk out to the cage pretending that you want the fight when every single time we've tried to get the contract negotiations, we know you don't want the fight. No, you can't wear that shirt. Because you're lying. If you signed the deal to fight Amanda Nunes, if you re-signed a contract with the UFC, you can wear the shirt. But we're not going to let you wear the shirt so you can pretend. And they didn't even know she had all these videos ready to drop. This was a whole fucking plan by her PR team. They had videos ready to drop, clipped Dana White's comments from 5 years ago with Joe Rogan's comments 3 years ago, clipped those together, did the fake little video edit. They didn't let her wear the shirt before all of these videos dropped. Can you imagine if they did let Cyborg wear that shirt out to the cage? And then now we're here and she dropped the edited videos, the clipped up videos, and she wore that shirt the whole week. Why would Cyborg be wearing that shirt all week if she didn't want the fight? Why would she wear the fight to the cage? Why would she be promoting it after the fight? She wants the fight. Dana's just mean. So yeah, the UFC's not going to let her wear the shirt if they know the fight's not going to happen. People are literally telling themselves Amanda Nunes is scared. Scared of someone she just fucking knocked out faster than Ronda Rousey. She just knocked out Holly Holm, who Cyborg couldn't knock out. Holly Holm just went to a decision with Felicia Spencer, and people are convincing themselves that Amanda Nunes is scared. And I know what it's from. I used to be beta too, you guys. I was raised by, most people are raised by their mothers. And if that's not where you get it from, you were probably raised by your father, but he was probably a beta male as well. You got to get away from all of that emotion. You got to get back to being fucking logical, man. Think, man. Don't just let your emotions think for you. Because you're going to be out here looking not so great when the person you're riding for has to apologize for doing some shady shit because you didn't want to think for what made sense. You just wanted to, oh, Dana's mean. Cyborg's a woman. She would never do no wrong. Nah. Sorry, man. And I've been saying all of this shit. And I've been saying this since before the edited video. I've been saying all of this since before the edited video even came out.
If I'm lying, she can call tomorrow and we'll make that fight. She will not call tomorrow and that fight will not be made because she does not want to fight Amanda Nunes.
So you still work with her if she take that fight?
She won't take the fight. But the answer is yes.
On a one fight?
My job is to take that. She won't do a one-fight deal. She will not fight Amanda Nunes. She will not fight Amanda Nunes. On a half-a-fight deal.
That would mean you can go this direction.
Oh, that was you? Oh, sorry. She will not fight Amanda Nunes on a one-fight, 10-fight, half-a-fight deal. She does not want to fight Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes will knock her out again in the first round. I know it, you know it, and she knows it. And she will not do that fight.
I know it.
End of story. We have gone round and round with her, you know, and she is surrounded by not very bright people. You know what I mean? So you can see how this whole thing played out. Okay? Like I told you, what you have to look at this objectively and take out however you feel about me in the UFC.
Take out all that fucking emotion, you fucking betas.
And all this bullshit, and look at what the real facts are. The fact is, all of this was said and done to avoid fighting Amanda Nunes, and she could walk away and look like, oh, they bullied me and this and that, and doctoring the video that they doctored, and lying, and all the things that they've done leading up to here, you know? Cyborg likes to play that she's this really nice person and she's being bullied and all this other bullshit.
You also say in that video, though, that she posted, you know, the real video, that you never said that she was afraid of that fight.
Right.
So if you're saying that she would never take that fight, why do you think?
Right. Well, I don't think she's afraid to fight Amanda Nunes. She doesn't want to lose again. There's a difference between being afraid to fight somebody. I mean, Cyborg's been fighting her whole, you know, adult life. I'm not saying that she's afraid to fight Amanda Nunes. Being afraid to fight and knowing that you're going to lose are two different things.
Oh my fucking, he sounds like me. If you listen to my channel, he sounds like fucking me. Obviously, she's not as scared of her like the boogie woman. She's afraid of damaging her brand. It's got nothing to do with that afraid. Oh, Cyborg's hiding under, you know, cowering. No, she's not cowering in the corner. She's afraid of damaging her brand permanently by losing that fight. Because as of right now, you got the whole beta fucking wave and the SJWs and Cyborg Nation. Everyone's saying, oh, we never know who would win the rematch because we won't get to see it. That's exactly what Cyborg wanted. We don't know who will win the rematch. Yes, the fuck we do. We do. The only reason we don't get to see it is because she's going to Bellator. And that's exactly why. Because if you lose to Nunes, then everyone knows 100% for sure who's the greatest, no questions asked. But if you go to Bellator, it's up in the air. That's the exact reason for the edited videos, the victim card, all of this. Everyone always talks about how great a person Cyborg is, and that's awesome. That's awesome. But you're getting into your emotions again. You're not even supposed to fucking videotape when you're being a good person. You shouldn't have to videotape that shit. You know, you're not supposed to videotape charity work. You're supposed to just do that shit to do it, not to make yourself look good on Instagram and YouTube and all of this. You guys forget that? You're not supposed to fucking do that shit for the gram. That's what you should be just doing to do it. You don't need to do that to explain how good of a person you are, man. So, I mean, beta.
That's the shit that I dealt with Tito Ortiz, too. You know what I mean? When Tito Ortiz didn't take the Chuck fight because he 100% knew that Chuck Liddell was going to knock him out. That's why he didn't take the fight, right? There's other fights that Tito would rather take. Same with Cyborg. Cyborg would rather fight Pam Sorensen or, you know, these other girls that she wanted to fight other than Amanda Nunes, right?
And guys, that's as crystal clear as it can get. Dana White is not apologizing. He's tripling down. He said a 1 fight, a 6 fight, a 10 fight, a half a fight deal. She won't fight her. She can call me tomorrow. We'll get the deal done. She won't do it. One side is apologizing. One side is tripling down. It's not that hard to me, but hey, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments and over on Discord. I'm out.